Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Business Over Breakfast. I'm Ben Barber.
Lori Jatari, how are you, everyone? Good morning.
Lori, I have missed you. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. I don't even know. Has it been 2 weeks?
So I think it's been 3 weeks since you've been on, because 2 weeks ago I did the Q&A solo.
Oh, yes.
But it's really nice to see your face and get to talk to you.
Really good to see you too. I made you a special present today.
Oh, did you make that mug? Hold on, let me go full.
I made it again. Wait, this way.
Yeah, I love it. This one's better than the last one.
I know. Well, I mean, I was a little more focused on, I need to give Ben a good Business Over Breakfast cup this morning. And soon we're going to have Shop Local Rhode Island cups. So I am looking forward to that.
I love it. I assume that the Shop Local Rhode Island cups will be not hand drawn from you.
No, they won't.
That's just a small hunch that I have.
Thinking that's probably correct. Yes.
I am just sharing this out to local groups so that more people can see it.
Yeah, that's great. I really want to invite back the Buxton Farm soil guys, because man, I'm so sorry that I missed that one, and I was really looking forward to it. So I've been listening on Clubhouse to a lot of these sustainability discussions, and I know that soil is such a huge part of that, and they're doing it. I don't know. What did you think about it? I didn't even see it.
Well, there was a little bit of a mix-up, and they never came, so you didn't miss anything with the Buxton soil.
Well, that shows you what
ended up,
kind of a tunnel I've been in.
Well, that's understandable, Lori.
Yeah,
that's very understandable.
Yeah.
So let's. I'm gonna let you run the show for a minute. What would you like to start with today?
I think, okay, first we'll do a quick shout out to Buxton Farm and say, we want you back. Come back. We want to talk to you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Me too. However, I'm glad that Lori didn't miss you.
Yeah, that's right. The other thing that I've been thinking about, okay, so for the viewers, we know I am in Florida still. I have been caring for my mom, who without pain and gracefully passed last week. I've been with family, and I'm looking forward to coming back to Rhode Island. And one of the things that I was thinking about yesterday, knowing that we would come together on our show today, was what is the state of small business in Rhode Island? I mean, usually I am on Facebook and in the Shop Local groups and talking to the businesses, and I'm really looking forward to that, knowing that I'm vaccinated now and I can go and visit businesses and give them Shop Local stickers. But I don't know what you've been hearing on your end. So you're in Rhode Island, and we see that businesses are opening and the weather is warming. I mean, let me tell you something. Florida is like an alternate universe, right? I mean, it's like you do not get, well, I don't know about information sources, but there's no like COVID protocol down here that I can recognize.
Yeah. Yep. So things are looking up for small businesses. Obviously, we had the I don't want to say restore, because I don't think that it was the restore RI, but we had the grants that Caswell came on and talked about, and that Commerce was giving out these $5,000 grants. The requirements were very simple, and the application process was extremely simple, and those helped a lot of people. I know that there were a ton of applications right away, and in the small business coalition group that you and I are in the text message chain, a lot of people were talking about getting approved for the grants and how easy the process was. So that was one good thing. And And then obviously as of May 7th, a lot of restrictions were lifted as far as outdoor mask mandates when you're not in a crowded setting. Capacity limits were expanded, which is helping restaurants and small businesses immensely. And then I believe the 28th, I'm not sure. I think it's the 28th of May. Even more restrictions are being lifted on those. Also, another good sign for those restrictions is that, and for small businesses, is that Rhode Island yesterday celebrated its 1 millionth vaccination. And considering the fact that we are a state of about 1 million people, that would lead to suggest that we're at least almost halfway there. With
That's great.
with vaccine distribution, which is wonderful news. And also we reported over the weekend that we had less than 100 people hospitalized for the first time in 7 months.
Wow.
So all metrics are looking better, and obviously the COVID metrics looking better means that small businesses are looking up.
Right.
There is a need right now. So all of the seasonal, Rhode Island's a large tourist destination, and it has a very large seasonal economy. So right now, I know that the beaches are gearing up. The beach businesses are gearing up for a big and successful summer, and they're really excited about that. And then finally, everyone is these restaurants and these other seasonal businesses and everything are now trying to hire as much as possible. And of course, there's a little bit of a hiring shortage. DLT has made some amendments to the unemployment requirements to sort of encourage people to go back to work. There's some legislation trying to get passed to encourage people to include incentives for people to go back to work and still collect some of their PUA. Or that might not be the correct terminology, so I apologize if that's wrong information. But you can check all of that out on the Rhode Island Small Business Town Hall. Just check out Lieutenant Governor Matos's page. So that's sort of the state of small business in Rhode Island right now.
What do you think would be? This jobs thing is happening down here in Florida as well, where a lot of restaurants and bars are open, but people aren't going to work. And on the one hand, oh, my light just went off. On the one hand, I'll come closer. The bars and restaurants are suffering in that case. And then, but you can't, if people are saying, one, they don't want to be vaccinated, so we probably need incentive for that as well. I don't know. It's very curious to see how things are going to play out as people start to think about moving back into life. And in our group, Visual Thrive, we've been talking a lot about the different exit strategies, like how are people and businesses exiting the pandemic in a way that is sustainable for them and maybe a different way. I mean, obviously we're working on the marketplace, so
right. I read a bunch of articles last night on LinkedIn about what's being called the Great Resignation. A lot of the jobs, the office jobs, right, that are people feel a little bit more, the general sense of things is that people might not want to come back into the office if they're being forced to. They now know that they can work from home. They now know that they can have some options that, and so that is a very interesting situation, is that a lot of these sort of higher paid professionals are going, I could find a new job. A lot of people are hiring right now, and so there are a ton of people on both ends of business, right? On the small business where you're looking for hourly wage employees, restaurant workers, hospitality industry, and it's hard to find those workers. It's equally it's hard to retain talent right now at a large organization, trying to bring people back into the office, trying to bring, so it's interesting. It kind of reminds me of the housing market right now, honestly. Right? Like everything's kind of been turned upside down. My friend's grandparents' house was put on the market 2 days ago, and it sold in 23 minutes.
Yeah. Did it sell for over asking?
I'm not sure. I didn't get into the specifics of that.
Yeah.
I do know that another friend bought a house that was like over their parents bought a house that was over like $400,000 that had no business being that much money. So
yeah, it's kind of right.
Everything's in a weird flux right now,
it's
right?
a very weird flux. And I think so. Two things that I think of as you say that is one, Scott and I are buying an Airstream next week. So that's kind of cool. Well, we're not buying it next week. We've already found it and bought it, but it's living in Tampa right now waiting for us. So that's one of the reasons I'm staying in Florida. He's coming down to get the Airstream. But Airstream has created some office spacing options in their new trailers and in the new Airstreams because of this trend of working on the road, working at home. And then the other thing I think about is many years ago when I worked at Schneider Electric, I worked a lot with Gartner analysts, and I don't know if you know Gartner Research. It is one of the largest technology research companies in the world. And they had this concept that they predicted the work world, the world of technology work and what technology was going to do for the world of work was this concept called swarming. And I'll never forget it because I read the reports and I thought, wow, this is the way I want to work. And it was where everybody is pretty much remote, but it's really because we're humans, we need to come together, we need to brainstorm ideas, we need to exchange our information and update each other in person. So this idea of swarming was that people come together once a month or once a quarter, and the teams come together in smaller and larger groups to make sure that the work and the exchange of information is intact and the relationships are intact. And then they go back to their respective workspaces and they're not in an office at all. They're only in, like, I can almost imagine like the bank building downtown that nobody wants to go into as a typical office space could almost be like just rentable, floor space for these large businesses that say, okay, on the third Tuesday of every month, these teams have to come together and they just kind of keep the space in a different way. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
I like that idea. I think that COVID and the pandemic is the exacerbation of a trend that's been happening for 100, almost 200 years, which is the Industrial Revolution, the technology revolution, leads to the same way that like farmers were replaced by machines and then you didn't need so many people in the field. More and more industries continue to be replaced by other situations and new technology, and that our office is going to look the same 10 years from now. Probably not, right? Probably there's already a couple years ago, there was a giant shift of businesses switching from 8-hour workdays to 10-hour workdays, but you get 3-day weekends instead, right? Because it was more about, because retention for their employees became more about quality of life.
Right.
And I think that things like quality of life, joy, happiness,
finally.
Yeah. Like that's the that's the really interesting thing about all of this is that there's a lot of questions of what people want to do now, and
Yeah.
and that's as big of that is as big of a part of it as um like the idea that someone is just collecting unemployment until it runs out because
Right.
the government's giving me free money,
Right.
right? Like if you were
Yeah.
miserable doing your job
Yeah.
and it was
Oh,
suffocating, and then you've had a year of trying to figure out who you are and what, maybe you have like a 10x plan
yeah.
for yourself, a 10-step plan for yourself, and you're trying to figure that out right now. And like that's why you're not jumping at the chance to go
Yeah.
back and work a job that you used to have or something of the
You know what?
extent.
That's incredible because I think that so you said something to me when we first started Business Over Breakfast. You said something that has just stuck with me, that there was a number, but it was the billions of people on earth had to pause. Like everybody is experiencing the exact same change. And I know that in coaching and individual work, people, when you don't want to do something, there's a lot of resistance. There's a lot of like no energy goes into that thing that you don't want to do. And so I'm almost curious if a lot of this unemployment issue is people just are having like an aversion to, I don't want to go back to that same way. That I see that we can do all of this other stuff in a different way, and maybe my work can be different too. And so
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's interesting that unemployment numbers are going down and yet there's such a hiring shortage.
Yeah.
And this is my thought process on that, because I think that this is the case in a lot of situations. And yes, there's a lot of situations where people don't want to go back to work and want to milk the system.
Mhm.
Sure, that's obviously going to happen to an extent.
Yeah. And
But
that's
I think that there's a lot of single moms, just as one example, a lot of single moms that worked 2 jobs at a restaurant, that during the pandemic, when they couldn't, they started selling their jewelry on Etsy, and they figured out that they could make some extra money selling their jewelry on Etsy, and that became a hustle,
Mhm.
and they had more time with their kids, and now maybe they're only taking 1 job at a restaurant,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I think that, I personally did jobs before the pandemic that because of the pandemic, I'm saying no to right now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I used to host trivia 2 to 5 nights a week in bars.
Wow.
That has started to come back. I am no longer in a place where I need to host trivia. I don't want to go to a crowded bar and interface with people.
Yeah.
I don't want to do any of that stuff. I'm
Right.
not saying yes to those jobs anymore. And
Yeah.
it's not that I'm refusing work. I'm not and have never been on unemployment, but that is a job that then because of the pandemic, have said, no, I'm not going back to that. Right.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a wonderful job. I loved that person. I loved the owner of the
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful friend of mine. I do not have to host trivia this summer at all for any place, even the outdoor
Mhm.
recreational things. I'm busy. I'm busy doing other things. I created a business online for myself. I expanded my business online for myself,
Right.
and I'm not going to go back and do those things,
Yeah.
right? The
Yeah.
school system, I used to do AV for the school department. I used to go in and do the lights and sound for their shows.
Mhm.
I'm not doing that now.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into a room with 500 people,
Yeah.
right? My life has changed in the last year.
Right.
And I think that there's at least a large percentage of people whose life has changed in a significant way in the last year where they're not in the same place.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. I mean, without a doubt. I guess we were going to talk about Shop Local Rhode Island, and I think a lot about the idea of people are so used to doing things online, like
Mhm.
shopping and getting things delivered, using Instacart, using DoorDash, all these big apps. And I think that's been a big trend as well. Like, it'll be interesting to see, does Zoom stay? Zoom will probably stay, but these ways that we communicate are in some ways depleting our energy. Like, we're all just individually trying to figure out where we place ourselves, which is cool. That kind of leads me to, okay, we could go really down the rabbit hole and say, so what do you think the time frame is for all of this? But I don't. I mean, it's got to be for us in Rhode Island. It's definitely going to be one to watch over the summer. As the summer opens and the season shifts, we're probably going to get a lot of information about where we are. One of the things that I always wished in Rhode Island was that they closed the big box stores instead of all the small businesses. But that it made it easier, I think, to consolidate everything into one place. And there are some businesses that are not benefiting, but that have been able to grow their business, like you and some other shops that have really done okay, and maybe feel a little guilty about that, because it's but I like
there are
that.
places that like have signed up for Shop Local, for example, and now do nearly as much business as they did in person online, or in some cases more business online than they did in person, because people didn't even know about them before they couldn't go to their physical location. So they had to get a Facebook page, they had to get an Instagram page, they got on Shop Local, they started their own marketplace on their website. And now that their physical location is back open, people are still coming in there, but people are also ordering online still, and now their income is up completely from both. Because now they have a new revenue stream.
Right. Yeah, it's so amazing. I mean, I don't know, we can look at this presentation. So today, the Shop Local Rhode Island team will be talking to Commerce and giving them a really cool update around what Shop Local is about. So this is our new cool logo that was designed by Claudia Middendorf in Rhode Island, RISD grad. Beautiful logo. We wanted it to look something like a box or a bag. So something around shopping and just really emphasizing Rhode Island. So I'd love to just chat about what Shop Local Rhode Island is about. Like, you can go to the next slide. We probably won't go through all 10, but one of the things that I really like about Shop Local is we are creating this circular economy. So, like, this is part of the whole idea around sustainability. How do communities sustain each other, and how do they work together so that the money, like, we're getting a ton of federal money coming into the state of Rhode Island, and in all states, but not all states have the opportunity to have Shop Local Rhode Island. So we have this amazing platform with 2,000 plus businesses, and this idea, and I was really happy to talk to a lot of businesses about it, is, you spend money at your local coffee shop, and the more money you spend at that local coffee shop, the better the coffee shop does. And maybe they start to say, we're going to stay open for lunch and do sandwiches, and they get to expand their business. And then because of that, they get to sponsor the local community Little League team. And then the families get to know each other. And then when, it's just this constant, how do we make our communities better and better by looking to the people in the community to deliver what we need. And I think in Rhode Island, it's funny, Rhode Island is 1 million people. We're so small. We have this idea that, I can't drive to Westerly, and you would probably drive to Cranston, but like, I'm thinking, you're far away, you're in Westerly, it's an hour. but I think this idea around Rhode Island and keeping this circle within the state and keeping that money here to grow just creates huge sustainability options for really great communities. And that leads into education as well. I mean, I think that's just so powerful.
Yeah. And I think that, what you were just saying about the little leagues and the and the community in general, like 99% of Rhode Island businesses are small businesses.
Yeah.
And the small businesses are the ones that you go to when your kids pee wee football team needs a sponsor, or their
Right.
soccer team needs shirts, right? Like it's not,
Yeah.
it's generally speaking, it's not Walmart versus it's not Walmart versus Burger King on the Little League field, right?
Right.
It's like
Right.
it's like Richmond and Nichols versus like Hope Valley Ambulance Corps or something. Like it's
Yeah.
they're local, right? They help the
Yeah.
community, which if and if over 90% of businesses in Rhode Island are small businesses, then that means that the jobs are small business jobs.
Right. Right.
And
Oh my God! Wait, you got to go to the next slide.
yeah,
I think
please.
it's. Oh shoot! It's not the right slide, but yeah.
Where's the next one?
Keep going down. Yeah, right here. There you go. So these are the stats for the small business. So you're looking at 99,000 small business in Rhode Island. I mean, that's incredible. And then you look at the amount of employment, it's over 50% small business employees. So over 50% of people that are employable in Rhode Island are working in small businesses.
Yeah. These are the most important statistics when you remember, like whenever you're thinking about any of this stuff, it's 98.9%. There's 1 million people in Rhode Island,
Right.
and there's 100,000 small businesses.
Yeah.
So there's a small business for every 10 Rhode Islanders, essentially.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's insane. That's the entrepreneurship of this state is the entrepreneurial spirit of this state is wonderful, and and that's why things like Shop Local are so important.
Yeah.
The independent man. Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, all right. So let's so our time is up today. But one of the things that I would really love to do is just look at the membership levels that we have on Shop Local Rhode Island.
Sure. Is it on this PDF?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's so I really just want to get our viewers to understand that if you know what, you don't even have to go back to the PDF.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
If you have a listing, thank you, on the Shop Local Rhode Island site, your listing will stay. Not only will your listing stay and have as much information as you want and still have the ability to make changes or put new photos up on your listing, but we are now offering what we're calling the freemium offer. And that offer allows any business to sell up to 5 items for free. So any business, 2,000 plus businesses that are on the Shop Local Rhode Island directory right now could, for free, sell up to 5 items and set up their own little marketplace. So for example, that stay-at-home mom that shifted to jewelry on Etsy, she can put up 5 pieces every week. She can change it every week, every day, every month, and keep selling without ever having to do anything but attend to that small shop that she has and bring in a new revenue stream. So I just wanted I don't want the people that are in our directory now to think, oh, we are definitely moving into a completely different marketplace and leaving you behind. We are not. So for me, I do coaching as well. We do business coaching. So that would be simple for me. I offer services that are, hey, you want to hire a coach? I can put that up and someone can sign up for coaching services or legal services or accounting services. If you have a specific offer and it's for sale, you can put it up there. Goods or services.
That's amazing. Yeah, goods or services, which means if you're, a photographer or a coach or a law office or something, then you can just sign up for the freemium plan if you only have 5.
Yeah. I mean, Ben, you do amazing production work, right? So you could put up 5 different offers around, these are my top 5 things that I would really love to do and sell around the state of Rhode Island.
Sure. Sign me up, Lori.
All right, I'll do it for you.
You know what? We'll walk through it. We'll walk through it next time.
Yeah, and we've done a ton of customer service calls for everybody on the site. So we're here. It's a blast.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that your week gets a little better. I commend you for doing the show today and for
Thank you.
Unfortunately, you and I have not been doing this show for a very long time. We have not been doing the show for a very long time at all, and yet yet now between the two of us, we've lost 3 parents and had to talk about it on the show. Yeah. So it's like we said all episode, right? There are benefits to the pandemic. There are crushing things that happened during the pandemic. Out of those 3 parents, only one of them passed because of COVID, just to be clear. But caring for an ailing parent or saying goodbye to a parent during this pandemic is incredibly difficult. There are so many things, right, that are difficult, and there are so many things that create opportunities and interesting opportunities. And so I hope that you enjoy the rest of your time as much as you can in Florida with your family. And the Airstream, I'm glad that Scott's coming down to get you. And that,
I told him I may sleep all the way home, but we got an Airstream.
You should. So he's been renting an Airstream when he goes to Kansas and stuff.
Yeah, he had to test it out and he loved it. And this is a dream of his. And so he's been, the yard guy, he's been searching and searching. And the Tampa just happened to be the one location that had what he was looking for. So we'll put some pictures on Facebook for sure.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Please check out visualdrive.com for everything Lori Jatari related. Check out her new book, by the way. Learn to Leap, because it's fantastic.
Thank you.
And of course, sign up on shoplocalrhodeisland.com if you have a small business, if you know somebody that has a small business, and you do, because if you live in Rhode Island, and if you don't, I don't know why you're watching this, but if you live in Rhode Island, there's a small business for every 10 people. 17 business owners minimum.
That's
Tell them to sign up on Shop Local Rhode Island.
Make sure they're all on. Yeah.
And if you don't, go on Shop Local Rhode Island and see what you can get for Father's Day or something. All right. Yeah. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lori.
Bye. Have a great day, everyone.
You too. I don't know where the video is again. There's way too many videos. All right. Ready? Wave, wave, wave.